they wanted to end menthol cigarettes in the black community, right?
Yeah.
And Joe Biden pulled back on it because they started saying it might make black people mad at him, and Joe don't want to lose any votes, right? So let him die. You know? They said it'll save between 300 and 600,000 lives in the next few years. Joe said, I'm going to lose some votes here. Let them die. Votes?
Why am I laughing? It's so grotesque.
Hell, let them die. They just black people. Let them die. So I smelled a rat, right? I said, what turned Joe Biden away from this? I said, I think I got a pretty good idea. So I smelled a rat, and I put that rat's name in and put in menthol cigarettes, and Al Sharpton showed up. I said, what, him again? I mean, hasn't this clown done enough? So the cigarette manufacturer called Al up and said, Al, we're going to give you some money to go down into the black community and put some heat on Joe Biden, right, to keep him from banning these menthol cigarettes because we're getting paid, you know. And so Al was trying to be slick. He didn't want to go against NAACP, so he decided to corrupt George Floyd's brother and Eric Garner's mother and had him go down there and talk for him. So he even had to be on the front pages behind.
Wait, George Floyd's brother is a menthol cigarette lobbyist?
Yeah.
He's working for Newport now?
He's working for Al Sharpton, and Al paid him under the table, I guess. And Eric Garner's mother, he set them down to talk for the menthol cigarettes to stay in the black community. And then they started putting the heat on Joe Biden. Joe Biden pulled it back because they said it might cost him some votes. So George said, let them die. They've taken all other flavored cigarettes out, you know, that the white people smoke.
Yeah.
But when it comes to black people, the menthol makes the nicotine more addictive, right? And everybody knows this, okay? And for some reason, when they were addicting the communities to cigarettes back in the 40s and 50s, they were just giving them away. They were giving the menthol cigarettes away in the black community.
For sure.
And so black people were smoking them. And I always wondered why black people smoked certain brands, Cools, Newports.
Yeah.
But they were giving them away. And the father...
Was that true when you were a kid too?
Yeah. My father didn't smoke.
Yeah.
He never smoked. My mom didn't smoke, so I didn't smoke. So I would see my uncles and black men, everybody smoked, except my dad and my mom. And I always kind of wondered why they smoked the same brand. And I never saw white people smoking them.
They're nasty cigarettes.
Yeah, I've never. And so I'm hearing, so I hadn't thought about it at all till I read this story about Biden pulling back the ban on menthol cigarettes. And I said, there's got to be something behind this. This is always follow the money, right?
Well, of course.
And there stood Al Sharpton. I said, boy, now he's killing black people with menthol cigarettes. 300, 600,000 black lives. I guess black lives don't matter when it comes to menthol cigarettes. So they gave Al a little money, and somebody said, you know, Al, if you take this money, 600,000 black people are going to die. He said, and? How much money am I giving?
But it is, I think you're absolutely right. I never thought of it this way. Well, I guess because I'm not black, but it's an expression of contempt.
Yes.
Exactly what that is.
Oh, idiots.
Here are your spokesmen. Here are your leaders, Joy Reid and Al Sharpton. You obviously don't think much of me.
Tucker, you and I both know black people that are much more qualified, much better at what they do.
Well, yeah, I do, actually. I do.
Well-spoken, better looking. I can understand how Joe Biden looked at Al Sharpton and thought that black people weren't clean, okay? Look at him, right? So, you know, you look at these people that they choose, the DEI hires, right?
Yeah.
They're on our community, Jim Clyburn, Maxine Waters, bunch of idiots. I mean, if you ever get the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with them, you're going to walk away saying, oh my God, black people are doomed. These people are absolutely moronic. And they are leading the black community. And they are the stupidest people walking the face of this earth. From Sharpton to Jackson to Clyburn to Maxine Waters. Oh my goodness. And, you know, I'm warning black people about them because you asked the question. I tell them, look at where they rule. They're all kings over ghettos, standing on their ashes, playing the fiddle. Drugs, fighting, dope, terrible schools, family breakdown, graffiti. Man, you wouldn't let your dog live in the places these people live in Detroit and Chicago and New York. And they are there, and then what happens when they run for office, there's no opposition because the Republicans don't even show up down there.
No, it's true.
They don't even show up. There's no opposition anymore in Chicago and in these black majority districts. None. So these people are left to be smitten and beaten down and destroyed in a one-party system. This is why I say, as Taylor Brandt said in his book, that in 1956, the communists in America were given instructions to turn the black community into a direct opposite of the Soviet bloc. And they've done it. One-party rule, dictator worship, apostate religion, poverty, drug abuse, government dependency. It's a third world country and a first world country. The black community in these cities, something like Haiti, or worse. And it started out with Martin Luther King Jr., whose whole life was a Diddy party. Orgies and smoking and fighting and whipping up on women. Martin Luther King Jr. make a Diddy party look like a Catholic convent school. Just showed they natural ass.
He was smoking a menthol cigarette when he was killed.
Yes, he sure was. He was smoking a menthol cigarette when he got shot. And had been fighting and beating up women the night before. And drinking and...
It's interesting. I hesitate even to say it out loud, but you're just from such a different... I can see why you're mad about this, because you're just from a different world.
Yes.
And the world you grew up in was not collapsed or pathetic. It sounds like, no.
No. There's always a penalty for lying to the strong. Some people you can lie to and say, well, no. You lied to the wrong joker. You're going to have to pay for it. I'm one of those type of guys.
Yes.
See, I was taught up to revere these people. Martin Luther King Jr.'s picture still in my daddy's house right now. Revere them. What they said was right. It was canon. And then when you're searching it, it's almost like when C.S. Lewis was talking to Tolkien, and Tolkien was trying to tell, C.S. Lewis was an atheist, and Tolkien believed in God. And I would have loved, and there's a book how these two brainiacs discuss this, right? Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, walking around Cambridge discussing this. And Tolkien finally hit C.S. Lewis with an absolute fact. He said Jesus Christ was either a maniac.
Yes.
Oh, he's exactly who he said he was. There's no middle ground here. Now you got to decide. And Lewis looked at all the evidence. He said, man wasn't crazy. He had to be who he said he was. And he said he had to deal with it. He went through a convulsion. And after that, C.S. Lewis became the greatest Christian apologist of the 20th century.
That's for sure.
Learned so much from him, from his writings. I mean, he died on the same day that JFK died.
Yes.
And I'm reading his works, and they've led me to great places. Hell is a choice, right? Pride, the most damnable sin. We were growing up, black pride. That's whoa, pride's a damnable sin. I don't even use the word anymore. I tell my children I'm pleased with them. What did God say to Jesus, my son, who I'm well pleased?
Yes.
We don't use pride in our household. We use esteem. I'm esteemed. I aspire. I tell my children, I'm well pleased with you. Because pride is something God hates. And what have the left done? They made it a virtue. And children are dying because of pride. That's why they pull their pants down. Pride. You offended me. I don't care. What does a humble person do? They walk in and say, I don't want to do anything to offend you, sir.
Oh, exactly right.
So tell me the rules here, and I'll abide.
Because I'm putting your needs, your feelings above my own.
Exactly. Oh, not the left. Me. What do they say? Me, my truth, me. God hates that. And they try to use it as a virtue. Tolerance. Tolerance is a sin. Billy Graham did a great sermon on the sin of tolerance. My next book coming out at the end of July is called The End of Tolerance. I'm telling America our tolerance has to end. We have to become intolerant of these things. And we can't be afraid to say that we are. No further. You're not bringing this in my household. You're not saying this is my child. We're not allowing this any longer. I'm not going to allow you to sexualize my child. I'm not going to allow you to bring a drag queen into school and shake his ass in my son's face. I'm not going to allow you to corrupt my children. I'm not going to allow it. You have to stand firm and say, I'm not going to allow it. Tell a mother, I'm not going to allow you to feminize my son. We have to start telling the court system, you're going to stop taking boys away from their fathers who can rear them correctly and give them to women who, even though they might try, they don't have the ability to do it. You know it. Why? Well, that's about 60 years of empirical evidence to show that to be true.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.